Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? What is up? Want to do a quick audio note really fast. Something that came to mind, something I've been seeing a lot. So I want to quick, kind of a short story to kind of ease into this. I started running ads a bit recently for the productivity business, and I kept seeing, and on the ads themselves, it's basically just a Facebook form. They answer a few questions to get a planner. And one of the things I kept seeing, and I've seen this with clients too, is one of the main things people struggle with is procrastination. And I find that to be pretty interesting, that when it comes to productivity, one of the biggest pain points people keep having is they keep feeling like they're procrastinating when it comes to achieving their goals. Now, as I've mentioned before, and as you probably know by now, I do have a kind of a large course coming out. It's a big giant course. It's going to be a bunch of like mini courses in it. Super long, super intensive, lots of information. It's going to be free, of course, so you can grab that when it comes out eventually. But I have a whole section of productivity in there. So I kind of want to use this voice note to answer why people procrastinate and how you can fix that problem. So what I found is that there's two reasons why people procrastinate. By the way, sorry, I'm in my car driving right now, so if you hear like my engine or cars around me, that's why. But there's two reasons I found that people procrastinate primarily. The first thing I found as a reason why people procrastinate is because they don't know exactly how to do something. Does that make sense? So a lot of times people procrastinate because, say for example, you're a college student and you have a project coming up. You procrastinate because you don't really know how to start the project. You don't really know how to finish the project. You don't really know where to go with the project. So you delay it and delay it and delay it until eventually a deadline's coming up and now you have to kind of rush and you kind of do it sloppily and you kind of just put something together, and it doesn't necessarily it's not really the best way to do it, most likely, but you figure it's better to do something than nothing. Does that sound right? Does that sound familiar? That's usually one of the reasons why people procrastinate. I think it's probably one of the most common reasons people procrastinate, just because they don't know how to do something. The second reason I found people procrastinate is because they're not interested in doing something. So kind of a short story I always tell people about this. Back when I was in college, my freshman and sophomore year, a lot of students start out as engineers. And the reason why they start out as engineers is because engineering, in America at least, I don't know which country you live in if you're listening to this, but in America, engineers tend to get paid a lot of money out the gate. Or at least that's the mindset. That's not necessarily true, but engineers are believed to get paid a lot of money when they first graduate from college. And it's not a very intensive or long process. And when I say intensive, I mean like it's not the same as like medical school, which is like 10 years. You can have your bachelor's degree or even your master's in college in a few years effectively and make a lot of money in the six-figure range when you come out, like high 70s, high 80s, six-figure range, depending on the type of engineering. So a lot of people start off as engineering, without me getting on a tangent. They start off as engineers, and inevitably most people quit engineering. Now, a lot of people that I knew that ended up finishing their degree as an engineer would say, well, they didn't finish because they weren't smart enough, or because they lacked the knowledge to understand maybe physics or calculus or some of the more advanced hard sciences. What I found that's not true. What I found is that most people are just disinterested in basically the prerequisites required to become an engineer. It's not so much that people can't do calculus or can't do physics or can't do chemistry. It's that people are not interested in doing chemistry or physics or calculus. And because they're not interested, they ultimately procrastinate. And in many instances, they end up just dropping out because they procrastinate so much that it affects their grades and they just don't do it anymore. And they find something that they are more interested in. So that's the second reason why, is a lot of people just are not interested in doing something. Now, when it comes to you and how you can fix this, you have to first ask yourself, which of these two camps are you in? If you procrastinate a lot, are you procrastinating because you just don't know how to do something? Because if you don't know how to do something, that's a fixable problem. You can reverse engineer the steps, or look at someone else that has done something and figure out what did they do to get the results that I want, and then do that. Just like emulate them. Good example is fitness. If you're someone that wants to go to the gym and get in shape or get a certain body type, and you don't exactly know how to do it, just look at someone else that has the body type that you desire and then figure out what they did to get that body type. Look at what they eat, look at how they exercise, look at their routine, etc. You can apply that concept to everything. So if it's an issue of not knowing how to do something, that's a relatively easy problem to solve. If it's an issue of not wanting to do something, well, I think there's two ways to approach that. The first thing I would recommend is this. If you don't like doing something and the thing you don't like doing is not necessary to achieving your goals, then my simple solution is to stop doing it. Does that make sense? Kind of using the gym example. If your goal is to lose weight and you don't like doing cardio, but you find out that cardio is not necessary to lose weight, and it's not, being in a caloric deficit is, which is just a matter of you eating less food, then don't do cardio. Does that make sense? Or if the type of cardio you're doing causes you to procrastinate, then don't do that type of cardio. Do something else. Does that make sense? Now, if the issue is that you don't like doing something, but that thing you don't like doing is necessary to achieving your goals, then my solution is this. 1, push through it. Realize that you have no choice but to do that thing, or otherwise switch your goal to something else. 2, find someone that can do that thing for you, or at least make that process much simpler on your behalf, so that way you don't have to procrastinate as much. And that's kind of the main things I would say when it comes to that. Either find someone else to do it for you, or find someone else to make the process a lot easier, or just jump right in and get it done, knowing that you have no choice but to do it. And I guess the third option is just to switch your goals. Like if you want to work out, get in certain shape, and you procrastinate because you just don't like working out, and working out is the only way to get the body that you want, well, I guess you'll never get the body that you want. That's really what it comes down to. Does that make sense? So you have to figure out which of those two camps are you in when it comes to procrastination. Are you A, the person that doesn't know how to do something? Because that's easily fixable. Just reverse engineer what someone else that has the thing that you want, reverse engineer what they've done, and then do it. Or are you in the second camp of you just don't want to do something? And if that's the case, figure out why you don't want to do it. Figure out if you need to do that thing or if it's unnecessary. And if it's not necessary, then either just don't do it or change your goals or find someone who can kind of expedite that process or make that process much simpler. Hope that helps. Hope that made sense. Leave a reaction, like a thumbs up or a 100 or something if it does, if you're on Instagram at least listening to this. But otherwise, if you have any questions, as always, shoot me a message. I'm always happy to help. And if you're ever interested too, I do free time management and productivity coaching. Based on what platform you're listening to this on, I'll leave a link that you can click and schedule an appointment for the initial session. But anyway, hope to talk to you soon. Hope to hear from you soon. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.